Hello everyone, this is Tim, and I'm going to try something different here. I'm going to talk about how to use basic HTML and to make your own website for an RPG campaign that you're running. And you might wonder, well, why would I want to go through all that difficulty to do something like that? Because it's going to take some time on the side, and it's going to take continual effort to keep it updated. Well, at times it can burn someone out. It's very true. But when it goes well and the players really enjoy having that reference, it kind of goes a long way to, I think, make the campaign more enjoyable for the players. And I think for any GM that likes to make their own settings, it's also a nice way to show off your work. And instead of just having 6 players enjoy your work, anybody that goes to your website can see the setting information you have, any house rules, etc. Summaries of, any sessions that you've had so far. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to go through one particular way of doing this. For the code junkies out there, this might be really dumb, and it's very simple. In fact, I probably even do some things that are slightly wrong, but basically what it comes down to is this is a very easy way to type stuff in and have it show up on a website. And you can just refresh that page after you save it, see if you messed up. If you messed up, you can go back and edit the code again. So like I said, this is very basic HTML, just to kind of keep your things organized. I put a link there for bravenet.com. That's a pretty good site that I have a few through them, and it works pretty well. I used to have a Yahoo GeoCities account, and they pretty much wiped out their entire, all their websites. So I kind of lost some information when that happened. But as far as I can tell, this is a pretty good one to go with, and it's completely free. You'll have some ads at the top of some of your pages, but that kind of goes, with it being free. So it's a very basic tutorial, and the example web page I have there is for Darv's Hill, and that's my God page that I recently just edited. So we're just going to go through and check these all out. Okay, so I'm assuming that you have tried to figure out, this bravenet.com, go to the website. So basically when you sign up for a website, make sure it's the absolutely free version. They have ones where they can host, for so many dollars a month. You don't want that, just a free one. Figure out a name for it and see if it is available. If it's not available, I suggest typing like RPG or something at the end of it, just to make sure that no one else has it. When you get signed up and logged in, find your website. It'll have a little link, and you basically click the edit button. This is just looks like a little, pencil on paper. And again, this what type of website is a what you see is what you get. So you type in your code, you save it, and then you go to the website and refresh it and see if it actually shows up. There's a little bit of lag time, usually about 5 to 10 seconds, sometimes longer. So don't get frustrated if it doesn't show up right away. You want to find the file manager link and click it, and then you should have a page called index.html. That's basically going to be your main page that whenever you type in your website address, that's what's going to come up. And you want to click the edit button, and then I'll show you how that works. Okay, so we're going to start getting to the meat of the code. And again, these are just very basic codes for you to use. You want to put everything in brackets. So you'll see at the top there it says, bracket, HTML, bracket. And with HTML, you have to have like that code, and at the very bottom of the page, you'll see \HTML. That's very important. Every time you start a code, you have to end it somewhere else on the page. So the HTML is at the very top and at the very bottom. The next one down is the head. It's basically your heading, and this is what will show up on top of the browser in the tab or whatever when they go to your website. And you want to click, type in, bracket, title, \bracket. So you'll see it says Labyrinth Lord RPG campaign, the gods, because this page is about the gods. So when someone goes to that page, that's what will show up at the top. And again, \, title at the end, and then you see the heading is at the top. You have your title in between, and you want to put the \ heading. So that's done. And then you can go down to the body. Now, you don't have to have all these colors and everything and stuff that's in this section, the body, BG color. That's just to add a little bit more flair. You really can just have body and then a bracket, and then backslash body at the bottom. But you probably want to add some color. You can just go online, just type in like HTML colors, and it'll give you the different codes for the different colors. What you're looking at there is body background color, and then the text color. And you notice that the colors are in quotes. Don't forget the quotes or it won't work. There's a different color for links, and a different color for any link that you look at. I always like to keep those two the same. That's just me. I like to keep the page similar. But if you want someone to be able to have a different color if they click on something, that's what the V link would be for. But again, so you're going to have your body in all the colors you want, and then the backslash body at the very bottom of the page. And all the information for your website is going to be between those two areas where I have enter your information here, more info next. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the next section. Okay, so these next videos are going to have an example of my Darves Hill God page, and I'll show you some of the code that's in between those, basically the body at the top and the body at the bottom. So this is all the information that's going to be on your page. This is my navigation area of my page, and I like to put this on top of every page. That way, no matter what page you're on, you can go to whatever page you want. You don't have to have that. You can just have one link going back to your index. And if you are just starting out, that's probably the best thing you want to do. You'll see in the code in there, I think it's like the third one down. It's a bracket, A space href, href equals quotes index.html quote bracket, and then you're going to type in, I like to type home. You can type whatever you want, but that'll be what they click on to get back to your main page. And then make sure you put your bracket backslash A and then bracket. And the three little dots, I just like to space things out a little bit, and that's just a very basic way to do it. It's pretty, I don't know. It's pretty cheesy to do it that way, but I didn't know how else to do it, so that's what I did. But this will basically just, you can look at the page that I showed you, the Darves Hill God page, and that'd probably be good to just have it on the side, just to compare what the code looks like and what the website looks like. But this is at the top of everything. You can just have a link back to your main page if you want to. There's a center code at the top and a backslash center at the bottom. What that means is this is going to center it on the page so that there's some space on the left and right. If you don't put the center, it automatically puts it over on the left. But that's pretty much it. There's a P, a BR, and a P as well. P is a paragraph break. It gives you a little bit of space. And the break is just a line break, and I'll just go right down to the next line. Okay, you're looking at more information that's on my page. You'll see the H1 and the backslash H1. The H stands for heading, and the number stands for size. That can be anywhere from 1 down to 5, I believe. The bigger the number, the smaller the text. You'll see the center, the H3. There's one more code in there called underline, which is just a U. You just put it in brackets and backslash bracket after the information you want underlined. You'll see the page breaks, the BRs at the end of the lines. And you'll notice that if you don't put a BR, like for instance, Mar is a creative force but not a god that acknowledges worship. It only breaks after the code, so there's no space after that, even though when you're editing it, it looks like it takes you down to the next line. At the very end, I put a paragraph break, so I'll give you a little bit of space. At the very top of the page, you'll see a paragraph break, a line break, and then a paragraph break. This will give you more space on your page. If you just type it in a bunch of P's, like 3 or 4 or 5 of them, it only registers one at a time. I've noticed when you do that, it gives you a little bit more space. Again, it's probably not the best way to do it, but it works. And then below that, you'll see the IMG space SRC, and that is for putting images on your page. And you'll see you want to put equals, quotes, Marth mythology symbol, .jpg, quotes, and then brackets. And that's the whole thing. You want to make sure that you don't forget any of that, the equals, the quotation marks, and it is case sensitive, so make sure you notice, how you typed or how you saved the file. And you can put a line break afterward. You can see I put Pantheon, holy symbol. And you'll see the backslash center above this on the page. There's a center as well for some of the text. Most of the page is centered, so it basically I started the center somewhere else and ended it here. Then you'll see a P, a BR, and then a P. And then my next title, which is the 16 gods, and that's a heading of 1. And you'll see that it's centered and then backslash center. Okay, at the top you'll see I have H2. Now the good powers is slightly smaller than the H1, which I put above this. And then below that you'll see H3 and then backslash H3. And you'll also see the underline and the backslash underline and then a bold and a mono in between those two. It's good to put, you have to put the heading and any sort of other code before and after what you're trying to do. So if, for instance, if I put that backslash U right beside the other U, a bold and a mono would not be underlined. So whatever you want underlined or to make a heading or to make bold or any of those things, you have to put that in between the codes. You'll see the line breaks for the different text I have. The asterisk are really just on my page. I just have them to tell you where those domains came from. So if that's just information on the page. That's not actually code. And then that's just one example of one of the gods I have listed on that page, and I just wanted to show you that as an example. Okay, this is just more information than I have on my page. You'll see I type stuff in, and then I put a line break. I'll put another line break, and then I'll put the P and then the BR and the P. Just space things out a little bit on the page. Then there's another heading, which is H1. That's the biggest. And then there's more information, and then another P, because you can type things out, but just make sure that you separate them, because if you don't put a P or a BR, it'll just be one long stretch of text. And sometimes if you forget to put in a code somewhere, it'll mess things up. So it's really important to make sure that you start things and end things. And there's another example of an image that I have on that page, and you'll notice that it has width and height, or height. You don't need to put that on there. It's just one of those things that is not necessarily, but you can do it. And the width is always in pixels. Okay, and then I put a little P at the bottom, and we'll go on to the next section. Okay, this is just a little refresher for what I was talking about. Remember to put the HTML and the backslash HTML page on, for everything on your entire page. There's the heading, and then the title, what your title is, the backslash title, and then the backslash heading. Then your body comes next. That's just all the information you're going to have on your page. Enter all your information, and then make sure there's a backslash body at the bottom. And at the very bottom, the last thing that should be on your page is backslash HTML. And then some of the things for the editing the body. BR is line break. It drops down to the next line. A P is a paragraph break. It gives you a little bit of space and drops you down. There's all kinds of different ways you can manipulate the text. Here's just a couple of them. Bold, underline, italics, and then there's the headings. And remember, anything that you want, bold or underlined, italicized, or to have in a heading, make sure the code is before and after that text that you want to emphasize. And the headings can be from H1 all the way to H5. The larger the number, the smaller the text. Here's the link and the image code that you'll need. I'm running out of time here a little bit, but you could pause this and look at the words and everything I wrote on here. But basically make sure that your website or your individual web pages have .html at the end, and make sure all your images are case sensitive, and make sure you use that code that I linked right there. Okay, if you're using the BraveNet/BraveHost website, upload file is the link you want to click to upload images. Create file is the thing you want to create new HTML pages. Just make sure to type in the name .html, and remember it's case sensitive. And basically that you would want to link to that off the main page. Characters.html would be a possible page you could create. So you want to have your index and then all the pages off of it. Hopefully that helped you out if you want to make a website. There's plenty of information online for creating HTML website pages. I'll see you guys later.